The SpongeBob movie, Sponge Out of Water, the junior novelization. Chapter 11. SpongeBob reached toward one of the papers and a hand grabbed his shoulder. "Hey!" Sandy said sharply. "Don't touch those papers!" Sandy darted away and picked up a thick notebook. She opened it and started reading, mumbling to herself, "Krabby Patties, chaos, secret ingredient." SpongeBob and Plankton slowly walked over to her. She didn't seem like the old Sandy SpongeBob knew and loved. "Sandy?" he asked. Are you okay?" She wheeled around and stared at him. "Okay? Have you looked outside?" Sandy pointed out the glass wall of her Tridom to Bikini Bottom, where they could see flames and plumes of black smoke. "Does that seem okay to you?" she demanded. Sandy started pacing. "I'm trying to figure out what's happened to society. If we don't fix it soon, there won't be anything left to fix." She twitched and her eyes bulged out of her head. "Oh, lack of Krabby Patties has driven her mad," SpongeBob whispered to Plankton. Sandy stared at the papers stuck inside her Tridom. She grabbed her head with her hands. "I think I figured it out. Look!" She grabbed some papers and then tore them off the curved glass dome. Through the dome, SpongeBob and Plankton could see a big sheet of paper with "The End" on it. Sandy stabbed her finger at the big sheet of paper. "When this came down from above, I knew it could only mean one thing. Only one thing." SpongeBob looked puzzled. "And that would be—" Sandy whipped around and held her hands wide apart. "It means it's the end!" "I see," Plankton said from his glass of water, humoring her. "That certainly clears that up." "And I know why it's the end," Sandy continued. "The sandwich gods are angry with us." Now SpongeBob and Plankton were really confused. "Sandwich gods?" they asked. Sandy started pacing again, moving even faster this time, waving her hands through the air. "I just don't know how we're going to appease them." "Well, maybe you should sacrifice an innocent," Plankton said sarcastically. "Then Krabby Patties will rain down from the sky. That always works." Plankton realized that while he'd been making this sarcastic suggestion, he had risen up from above the water level in his glass. "Excuse me," he said, and dove back under the water. Sandy thought about Plankton's idea. "A sacrifice?" she mused. "That makes perfect sense." She read around her Tridom, feverishly scribbling off the pieces of paper stuck to the inside of the glass. "Sacrifice, innocent, sandwich gods," she muttered as she wrote. SpongeBob and Plankton slowly backed away from Sandy and then hurried through the airlock to get away from the deranged squirrel. Outside, Plankton said, Well, that was a complete waste of time." Inside the cabin of his ship, Burger Bear lay in bed reading from the old book. Seagulls were tucked in next to him. "That's all for now," he said, closing the book dramatically. "You sleepy little birds, get some rest. We can finish in the morning." Kyle looked up at him with his big brown eyes. "Please," he pleaded. "Just one more story, Mr. Pirate. Please." Burger Bear tried to resist the adorable little seagull but failed. "Oh, all right, Kyle," he relented. "How can I say no to you? One more story." "Yay!" Kyle cheered. "We love a good story, but nothing too scary, please, Mr. Pirate." Burger Bear climbed out of bed and picked up a candle. The yellow light flickered below his face. "How about this story? There once was a pirate who dreamed of being the world's greatest galley chef." He held the candle close to an old picture in a frame. It showed Burger Bear when he was young, cooking behind a grill crowded with food. "They all laughed at him in pirate school," he continued, "but with the help of this magical book," he held up the book he'd stolen, "he would show them! He would show them all! Burger Bear grinned a horrible grin in the candlelight. But, Mr. Pilot, Kyle asked innocently, what makes that book so magical? I'll show you, the pirate answered. He quickly scribbled in the book, and suddenly the seagulls were wearing pirate hats and eye patches. Cackling, Burger Bear told them, "Ha ha 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 ha! Now say R! R!" said the seagulls. Burger Bear laughed and blew out the candle. Stay tuned for chapter 12, coming up soon.